Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, let's look at Alpherg, the final boss of the Chamber of Arms. And here's my team. My physical tank is going to be Ramza for the first half, and then for the second half he'll switch to magic tank. And then I gave him some water resistance. I'm giving everybody at least 50. Next up is Rena. She'll be my healer, and then she has some nice damage mitigation stuff as well, so... And then Rydia will be here as usual to fulfill missions. Lots of element spells, and then the ability to fill the Esper gauge. Zargabath will be here to raise the elemental resistance and then general buffing. And then Elfrida will be here to break and provoke. Roberta will be my main damage dealer. And then I have Sophia in here. I thought maybe I would use her freeze spell. But I ended up not using her, so you can ignore that. Okay, let's head into the fight. Alright, so Ramza will cover physical. Elfrida, she will provoke and then break. Zargabath will put up the elemental resistance. Yeah, clever smile. I upgraded that, so now it's a 55% break, attack and magic, which actually seems to be enough, even for now. I also used Elfrida and like Alexander and stuff, and it's always been good. And then with Rena we'll heal, and then we'll put up some damage mitigation. It could be the mitigation that is helping me, not take as much damage, even though I'm using lower breaks. So yeah, I really like mitigation these days. And then the boss will hit us with Imbue of different elements, and then he is immune to those elements. So physical attacks aren't going to do any damage to him. So it can be recommended to do magic damage, but then ice is kind of the best element there. I could use Rydia with her ice damage to take down the boss. Possibly I could do that with Elfrida, but I'm going to rely on Roberta with her ice spear. But before I bring in Roberta, I'm going to use Rydia to fill the Esper gauge. I did that just now, and then I summoned Ramuh. And then I have to summon Titan as well, so I'll summon that. And then after that, I have to use a bunch of elements 2 times each. I'll do that with Rydia as well. And then finally, when all that's done, I'll switch out Rydia for Roberta, and then start to do damage on the boss. So actually, let's skip ahead to when we switch in Roberta, since pretty much every turn is just going to be like the previous 2, just using elements and summoning Espers and stuff. Okay, turn 9. I've done everything that I want to do with Rydia, so let's switch her out for Roberta. And then there is a clear by 30 turns mission, so I knew that already taking up a third of them with the other missions. Kind of puts me at a disadvantage. But with Roberta, I'm going to use Ice Breath so that we can upgrade her Death Crimson to Death Crimson Plus, which is her stronger jumping attack. Everything else will be pretty much the same, though. And yeah, I did say in the review of Rena, but she has lots to do every turn. She can heal, use Esenaga, raise the limit break fill rate, give us damage mitigation or magic damage mitigation, and then like regen, MP refresh, so yeah, lots she can do. So Roberta, she can do really great damage, of course, but the danger of using her here is that the boss might hit her with an imbue of an element that we don't want. So hopefully I can time it right so that I don't get hit by that. And then if I do, I can use Zargabath to dispel that on her. But yeah, now her Death Crimson has been upgraded. So I'm going to give re-raise and then buff on Roberta. And then with Rena, we can do some other sort of pass abilities. Regeneration, and then raise the LB fill rate. And then we'll use Death Crimson Plus with Roberta. And then another reason why it can be difficult to use Roberta here is that sometimes the boss will retreat into the shell. And then when that happens, I can't really do damage. So yeah, there it is, shell retreat. So yeah, this turn I'm not going to do damage with Roberta. That's no big deal, since I'm in no rush. But yeah, let's skip ahead to where I do damage to the boss. Okay, here comes turn 13. The boss hit us with the element Imbues, but that's fine, because Roberta was up in the air, so it won't matter to her. Okay, and we got some damage on the boss. So that's basically it for this first half, and then we'll skip around, we'll look at where Roberta does the damage. Okay, turn 25. We'll take the boss to the threshold. So now I want to switch Ramza over to a magic tank, so we'll use that. Elfrida will keep breaking and provoking. And then with Zargabath, let's use his limit break. That will give all my guys 50% damage mitigation, which is pretty crazy. And then with Rena, let's cast the re-raise on everybody. She can only do that once every 6 turns, so I have to pick my time when I want to do the re-raise. This is the right time, I think. Alright, so second form, boss will hit us with a big magic attack, and then a big physical attack. Roberta goes down, but that's no big deal. And then actually she's kind of easy to use because if you take the steps to unlock her Death Crimson Plus, and then you die and come back, you'll still have access to the Death Crimson Plus. So yeah, even though she went down here, I'm not too worried about it. Just need to raise her with Rena, and then we can get back to jumping. Okay, so raise and then damage mitigation. Ramza and Elfrida, they still have their tanking up. With Elfrida, let's use her cooldown skill for healing. That's pretty good, 10,000 flat healing. And then we'll entrust Zargabath with his limit break, just for fun. And then we'll give the re-raise to Roberta since she went down last turn. And then that bite down attack, which went to Elfrida, I think that is, it's like set damage, and it will do like 150% of the character's max HP. But because we had the damage mitigation, that helped her survive, so that was good. And that will come out every other turn, I think. And then with Rena, we're going to dual cast. We'll use the Super Esunaga and then the Heal All. That Super Esunaga will heal Stop, so that makes her really great for this mission. And then also the fact that it can be part of a dual cast makes her really good as well. Ayaka could, be able to get rid of the Stop on everybody, but that would be her only action for the turn. So in that sense, Rena is a little bit more versatile. Alright, with Zargabath, let's use Arcadia's Might. That will be a buff, and then also unlock his dual cast for next turn. And then with Roberta, we will do Death Crimson. And then in the second half of the fight, we don't have to worry about the boss imbuing elements onto us. And then also, I don't think he does the damage mitigation, so yeah, Roberta, pretty much every time she jumps, she's going to get the damage in there. Okay, pretty good. Okay, let's put Rejuvenate on my tanks, just cause. Oh, and then neither of my tanks have Evasion, because they didn't need it. I hear that Elfrida's a pretty decent damage dealer, but even now I still haven't really used her for that. Not for her ice attacks, not for her counter attacks. But as a tank, she's pretty great. Okay, Roberta goes down, comes back up, no problem. And then there's that bite down attack again. Again, did not take down Elfrida because of the damage mitigation. Mercenary Ramza, he does have a magic cover on a cooldown skill. So if he goes down and then comes back up, he may not have access to that when he comes back up. But since he doesn't die in this mission, then no big deal. Okay, another Death Crimson plus here. I would like to give her attack up, but Zargabath has already acted. But we'll use Rena's Limit Break. That will give attack up to Roberta in addition to everything else it does. So that can be a little extra damage there. And then I know that a lot of people kind of refer to Rena as a support character because she does have some buffs, but I don't really like to use her that way. I think it takes like 40 Limit Break crystals to get her strike shot or her Limit Break out, and that's just too many, I think, for a dedicated buffer. Okay, so another Death Crimson Plus from Roberta. I was wondering why I did so little damage, but then I guess Alpherg has a hard threshold at 29. I wish I'd known about that before. But yeah, there is the clear within 30 turns mission, and then I was thinking maybe I could get it this turn, but then there was a hard threshold, so yeah, I'll just give up on that. Okay, so turn 31, again we are hit with a bunch of stop attacks, but with Rena we can heal that, and then let's also get some HP back. Again, Roberta, she went down, but she came back up with the re-raise, and then as always she has the access to the Crimson Death Plus. And then in the second part of this fight, since Ramza is covering the magic for everybody, I don't need to raise the elemental resistance. Alright, so there goes Roberta. And then let's see if this is the last jump that she does. Alright, and then there's Frida with her counterattack, and then that will imperil the boss's ice resistance, so that's even more damage there. Okay, only down to 19. I don't know if that's just low damage, or if that's another threshold. Alright, there's some counterattacks from the boss against people that did him damage. So that's Roberta and Elfrida. Frida had the re-raise though, of course, so yeah. And then I guess that was the big super counterattack from the 19% threshold, but Ramza was able to take it. Oh, almost got the boss there. One more jump should do it. Okay, but more stop removal, more healing. Okay, we'll reapply the magic cover and then the provoke and the break. Okay, and then there was that super attack on Elfrida. I guess she didn't have the mitigation there, so that's why she went down. Okay, we'll raise Elfrida. We'll get rid of the stop. And then here I don't have the provoke on Elfrida. But hopefully Roberta can take down the boss with this final jump. Okay, just in case, we'll use Zargabath's 50% damage mitigation. And we'll jump here. Here I was a little worried about Ramza's low HP, so we'll cast Kiraga. But I forgot about Rena's regen. And yes, that gave him a pretty good amount of HP, so no problem. Okay, and there goes the boss. So that was fun. In some ways, the first half was more difficult than the second. In some ways, the second half was more difficult. But yeah, basically a pretty small team was able to get through it all. And yeah, that was pretty cool. And then in the beginning of the video, I did say that this was the final boss of the Chamber of Arms. That's not quite true. There's like one last secret boss, which I guess is not available yet, but maybe we'll get it later. And then I'm very happy about the Ragnarok sword. 2B and then like Reagan in particular, I think they would like one-handed swords with high attack. I was kind of like, hoping to get more of Lightning in order to get her Super Trustmaster. But since I have Ragnarok here, my need for that is less than it was before. Okay, I wasn't able to get the boss within 30 turns, but if I were to play it again and then just forget about the Element and then the Esper missions, then it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, good luck with that, and we'll see you again. Take care.